the regular session of the Oregon City Commission for Wednesday, February 15th, 2017. It is 7 p.m. If you'll, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Ide?
Here.
Commissioner Shaw?
Here.
Commissioner O'Donnell? Here. Commissioner Mengelberg is absent this evening, and Mayor Holliday.
Here. Please stand and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so under point 3, ceremonies and proclamations, I have a list of appointments to city boards and commissions. Appointing Matt Kuhl and reappointment of Jerry Herman to the Natural Resources Committee for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2019. Appointment of Bill Daniels to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2019. Appointment of the following members to the Citizen Involvement Committee with the term ending December 31st, 2017. These are a year at a time?
No, those ones are to fill a 2-year vacancy in that already established position.
Okay. So primary for Barkley Hills, Shelley Batty. Primary for Kenema, Dennis Anderson. Alternate for Kenema, Linda Basinger. Primary for Tower Vista, Vern Johnson. Alternate for Tower Vista, Georgia Reagan. Alternate representative for Caulfield, Robert Malchow. And alternate representative for McLaughlin, Gordon Wilson. City still recruiting for openings on the Historic Review Board, Architect Experience in Historic Preservation, and the Planning Commission. Please check the city's website for updates. Move on. Is everybody okay with the agenda?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have no public hearings. Under general business, we have 17-122, second reading of ordinance number 17-1002, amending Oregon City Municipal Code, Chapter 3.06, tax on recreational marijuana sales. Mr. Parno.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. Citizen comments.
Oh, sorry about that. I totally missed citizen comment. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to present information relevant to the city, but not listed as an item on the agenda. So we have just
Several.
a whole bunch. All right, so we'll start with the first two, William Becker and Siobhan O'Connor.
Which one do you want?
Mr. Becker.
Okay. Hello. Thank you to the Commission for letting us come up. I'm William Becker of Oregon City, and I'm here with Unite Oregon City. We're an organization that's formed to help work against bullying, against the hate crimes, that kind of thing. And I'm here to ask a couple questions. One, I want to make sure that the city and the police are aware under the new administration in Washington, D.C., that the state of Oregon is a sanctuary state, and I want to make sure that we do not cooperate with ICE unless there's a major crime being committed per state law. And I would also like to ask the Commission, and I know you can't do that tonight, but to pass a resolution calling or making Oregon City a sanctuary city as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners and Chief Band and fellow citizens. My name is Siobhan O'Connor. I work in the high-tech industry and I serve on the local school board. But my most important job is I'm a mom of 5 kids living in Oregon City and growing up in Oregon City. And our city's at a pivotal point, and it's truly exciting. The development efforts like the Willamette Falls project, coupled with the positive growth we're seeing in our population, it positions us for a very bright future indeed. Our potential to thrive economically and socially is terrific, but we need to seize this moment in time to assert our core community values. And we need to do that in a very vocal way. We need to declare that our city is a welcoming, inclusive community where all residents are safe and their contributions are valued. The growing diversity of our community is a huge strength and must be supported and encouraged. Unfortunately, we must also acknowledge that certain ugly events in our history have given us a reputation as a racist enclave in the metro area. Moreover, it is gravely concerning that a number of recent hate incidents at our schools have reinforced that negative reputation. I have lived in Oregon City for almost 30 years, and I know what a tight-knit, family-centric, supportive community we have here. I know the population at large is loving and kind, and that we believe in civil society, and our interactions with each other generally reflect that. However, we have work to do to repair the societal damage of racism and to shed our racist reputation. For a successful future and to become a truly integrated community, it is imperative that we unanimously reject prejudice and hate in all its forms. In the current divisive climate that national events have created, it is more important than ever to assert our core community values. Our immigrants, our people of colour, our religious minorities, our LGBT friends and neighbours all need protection and support in these tumultuous times. I call on the city to issue a sanctuary declaration specific to our city so that our alignment with state law is clear and our residents know that the Oregon City Police Department will not be expending resources to identify, detain or target immigrants on behalf of ICE. I also call on the city to create programs and policies that support inclusivity and diversity. As a matter of urgency, we need to set up a hate reporting and rapid response program to help ensure the safety of all our citizens. I call on the Mayor and City Commissioners to provide the leadership our city needs right now to evolve forward successfully. Please focus with urgency on this to ensure that we are a healthy, thriving community and that the social and economic future of our city is solid and secure. Oregon City must be seen as attractive to investors and welcoming to visitors and immigrants. Most importantly, it must be a livable, safe, secure and healthy environment for the residents of all races, genders, sexual orientations and religious creeds who call Oregon City home. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Gavusht and Christina Lugo.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners and staff. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. I'm along here with the Oregon City Unite. Yesterday evening...
City of residence, please.
I am a resident of out by Redland.
Okay, thank
you. And I've lived there 30 years. I'm Siobhan's husband, long-suffering husband. But anyway, I don't know if you saw on the news tonight, yesterday evening, that there was a similar type thing with the mayor of Portland and some of the commissioners there, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. They're showing their values in supporting against, immigrants being harassed or people of colour, and we've had several unpleasant incidents. Again, I've had 5 kids go through Oregon City High School, go Pioneers, so you want to keep that tradition up. That I know we have great values. I know we're a very inclusive city. So I wanted to make sure that the folks here on the City Council and the Mayor are solidly behind that and will support a resolution to make sure that this is a sanctuary city. And I can't claim this. I got it in a Chinese fortune cookie, but what we tolerate, we encourage. And so we don't want to tolerate the negative perception that people may have of Oregon City being in such a fashion, anything other than an inclusive and a happy place to live and to visit, with the Willamette Falls coming up. So that's all I had to say. Again, thank you for your consideration, and we hope that the Mayor and the City Commissioners will come out with some kind of a statement to support that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, Christina. Good to
Dan,
see you again.
how are you doing? It's good to see you.
You too.
Congratulations on being elected mayor.
Thank you.
I know it's been a while. I am so sorry I've not been involved in local politics. I really should be more involved here at the city level. I'm just so busy. But I'm here tonight because I want to echo the concerns of this group, especially just about the idea of making Oregon City a sanctuary city. We live right on the cusp of a lot of workers who work in our agriculture industry in Clackamas County, and they're just hardworking people who want to contribute to our community. And a lot of them have families, they have people that they support in their communities. And with the change in politics, I just want to make sure that like we both echo state law, which requires like a certain kind of interaction, and also that we proclaim our values as a community, that we say, you know, we really care about people. If you're hardworking, if you're, you know, if you don't break the law, if you're contributing to the community, then, you know, let's support these people who are here. They came here for a better life, and, you know, I think that we should, as a community, try to not make their lives more difficult. So I would urge you to encourage making Oregon City a sanctuary city by passing a resolution to that effect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Nocita.
Evening, James Nocita. I live in Oregon City. I'm coming tonight to thank the City Commission for having reaffirmed the right to public comment during the recent citywide City Commission retreat. I'm passing around a document that I'm going to refer to in a minute. Mayor Holliday during the retreat referred to a tradition in Oregon City of not allowing public comment at City Commission work sessions and retreats.
It's a policy, not a tradition.
Well,
it's a policy established by the commission 2 years ago.
Well, in the past, it hasn't been a tradition. In fact, I looked at the past commission retreat minutes from all of Mayor Neely's tenure, and every one of them allowed public comment, including before the one in 2011, where an individual named Dan Holliday requested the right to speak and was granted such a right to speak without problem. I don't think it's right that citizens should be dissuaded from making public comment at City Commission retreats. If there is a policy, I respectfully request that it be rescinded. And I, in fact, think that there should be an ordinance reaffirming that right to speak at City and Commission retreats. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All right, we'll move on. We have no public hearings, so we'll go to general business. 17-122, second reading of ordinance 17-1002, amending Oregon City Municipal Code, Chapter 3.06, tax on recreational marijuana sales. Mr. Parno.
Thank you, Mayor Holliday and City Commissioners. Before you is the second reading of Ordinance 17-1002 that would amend City Code related to the collection of taxes on marijuana sales. As you're aware, in November, the voters imposed the tax on sales of marijuana in Oregon City and also authorized the city to work with Department of Revenue to collect the tax on behalf of the city for administrative efficiencies. The Department of Revenue has contacted us and asked us to revise code to align with their procedures on interest and penalties on delinquent collections. So this ordinance would enact those changes. Happy to answer any questions.
So this is the second reading?
Correct.
Okay. Motion?
Motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 17-1002, amending Oregon City Municipal Code Chapter 3.06, tax on recreational marijuana sales.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Ide, second by Commissioner O'Donnell. Mr. Kabizman.
Ordinance number 17-1002, an ordinance of the City of Oregon City amending the Oregon City Municipal Code, Chapter 3.06, marijuana and marijuana-infused products tax.
Further discussion? Call a roll.
Commissioner Shaw,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell,
Aye.
Commissioner Ide,
Aye.
Mayor Holliday.
Aye. Moving on, 17-124, Resolution 17-06, recommending restoring of recreational immunity rights. Mr. Conkle.
Thank you, Mayor. Evening, Commissioners. For 20 years, the Public Use of Lands Act was broadly interpreted to provide Oregon landowners and their employees and volunteers immunity from civil liability in the event a person is injured on their property, provided that they were recreating and that the property owner did not charge a fee to access to their land. that the Oregon Supreme Court recently ruled that the employees or their agents of the landowner may be liable if a person is injured as a result of their actions. For public agencies such as ourselves that are required to indemnify and defend employees against such claims, recreational immunity has been stripped away. Without this effective recreational immunity, Oregon City will expose itself to unwarranted risks when providing recreational opportunities in the community. We've prepared Resolution 1706 that would demonstrate the Commission's support for the 2017 Oregon Legislative Assembly to restore the civil immunity landowners and their employees, agents, and volunteers had against tort actions for industry injuries sustained while recreating prior to the Oregon Supreme Court ruling. This is also one of the Commission previously identified restoring recreational immunity as a legislative priority for 2017. So the proposed resolution is attached, and would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
No questions from me.
Discussion? Oh, Commissioner Shaw. Sorry.
So could you give us kind of an example, Mr. Conkle, of what this could happen to us in our community here? What are we talking about?
Sure. We could probably use the example from the Supreme Court case.
Sure. Yeah. The Supreme Court case started in the city of Portland, where there was a maintenance worker working on repairing a spigot in an irrigation program, sprinkler head in Waterfront Park. And a woman who is legally blind, could see somewhat, but couldn't see that well, tripped on it, caused serious injury to her, and she sued the city. And the circuit court said the city was protected by recreational immunity, this statute. But what the plaintiff actually did was sue the city as well as the individual employee. And the Supreme Court said, well, the city may be immune, but the employee is still liable for their negligence, and because of the employment relationship, the city ends up covering that negligence as well, and so the city ends up being it. So basically, the city operates a lot of parks, and there are a lot of things where people can get injured. And up until this case, the thought was, as long as you left it open and you didn't, purposefully go out and do something that causes injury, you're protected. The city would be protected from all kinds of different things, whether it's a slide or whatever it may be. And this opened that back up again. So that type of sprinkler head injury or other work that happens in the park, if in fact the legislature restores that immunity, the city would be protected again.
Let me advance that argument just one more step. I don't know how many of us are or not hunters or fisher people, but this immunity applies to private landowners as well. As long as you get permission from a landowner to hunt or fish on their property, then that's okay. But if you were to fall down and hurt yourself somehow, at this point in time, you could go back and sue that person, even though they hadn't done anything wrong. You just fell down on their property. That opens up, and so what it has a chilling effect on the ability of us to be able to recreate, hunt, fish, hike, all those kinds of things on private property, if you get permission from the landowner. So I think it's a critical decision that we need to get fixed.
And the only thing I had to Mr. Conkle, when you're doing your dissertation there, that you mentioned prepared 17-06.
That's the resolution number 1706.
Because it's 1705 on here, is that correct?
No, it says 1706.
Down is 1705.
This one.
We're up there. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I'm ahead of my time here, so. As usual.
Well, is there any further discussion? Is there a motion?
I will move to approve resolution number 17-06.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw, seconded by Commissioner Ide. For discussion, hearing none, call roll.
Commissioner Shaw,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell, Commissioner Ide,
Aye.
Mayor Holliday.
Aye. Anybody want to pull anything from consent agenda?
Nope.
Then I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw, seconded by Commissioner Ide. Call roll, please.
Commissioner Shaw,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell,
Aye.
Commissioner Ide,
Aye.
Mayor Holliday.
Aye. All right. On to communications, Mr. Manager.
Thank you. So the one update that I have for tonight is Ms. Riggs sent out an email today with the draft 2017-2019 City Commission goals and priorities. We would ask that you have a look at that. Please let myself or Ms. Riggs know if you have any concerns. We believe we've captured what was the consensus from that retreat to be formulated into the goals booklet, and we would like to bring that back hopefully at the first meeting in March for adoption by the Commission for those goals and priorities. And that's all that I have for tonight.
Kidding me. Okay. Mr. Hyde?
Well, since we're only 22 minutes into the meeting,
So here
I'll
we
just tell
go.
you everything
That
about
doesn't mean you have to turn into Rocky Smith, okay?
No, just a few of what I've done. Okay, so I did attend a tour over at the West plant. It was very informational and helpful, and it gives me a visual as we move forward with all of our discussions with Wes. It was really helpful if you have the chance to. They're adding more and more tours to take a lot of people through there.
You should take the tour.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Another thing, I did attend also the roundtable with Congressman Kurt Schrader when he was here. That was very interesting to hear all the questions from all the folks. I toured a Safe Place facility in Oregon City, which is a facility for victims of domestic violence. It's a center that provides a wide range of services to help its clients, and they had a lot going on there as far as the variety of services that they offered, which I was really pleased to see. I also participated in the Development Discovery Tour, so it's been my tour the last 2 weeks, with about a dozen people, including our developer, Ed Darrow, and I was impressed with all the transformations that had been made among a lot of undeveloped areas of the metro area. A lot of very difficult landscapes that were developed very nicely. So it was just interesting tour. And I attended the Downtown Oregon City board meeting, and they had a very busy 2 months with hiring people at the elevator and getting that up and running, and among just the holidays and so forth. So they're a really busy group down there, and now they're up to I believe 10 employees. So they're growing. And lastly, the Oregon City Homeless Solutions Coalition is scheduling its strategic planning sessions for the month of March. And I'm happy to announce that Providence Hospital is stepping up to lead those sessions. And the group, as you know, seeks solutions for homelessness in Oregon City. And the plan will be put in place to try to address some of those needs. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Shaw?
Okay, you went to my usual CIC meeting, and it was very good. And did tour the Safe Place also, and that was enlightening about everything they do there. Took the development tour, and you really don't realize what's going on down there in that Cove project till you're on your feet down there walking through that. So it's nothing like you see from the freeway, Arlie. It's a lot worse.
Seeing it's a little muddy down there?
It was very interesting. So anyway, and then did the let's see what else. I think I went to had the chamber volunteer breakfast this morning. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Well, I simply participated in the Development Discovery Tour, which has been explained before. We toured the Cove, we got some insights into it. We looked at similar type projects so that we could understand the capabilities of the building.
Is that it? So I attended Congressman Schrader's town hall on Friday. I had previously scheduled a phone call with him later that day, and had some discussions about national politics and other kinds of things with him, just kind of cementing our relationship. Kurt and I go back, I don't know, probably 30 years. So had a couple of other meetings. with developers and other folks interested in Oregon City over the last couple of weeks. We're starting to heat up a little bit. People are becoming interested in Oregon City, seeing the kinds of things we've done. So just trying to meet with folks and see how we can facilitate making more things happen in Oregon City. I did not go on the development tour. I've seen most of Ed's projects already and had other stuff to do. The one thing I did want to mention is the Chamber GEAC, and I did attend the breakfast this morning, the volunteer recognition for the Chamber. The Chamber's Government Economic Affairs Committee put out a recommendation today to our state legislators to support a reasonable limitation on frivolous appeals to LUBA. And there is a bill currently in the session that basically would grant it's not the appellant, it's the
Petitioner or the respondent, the local government.
Right. So it would allow the respondent, should they prevail at LUBA, to recover their attorney's fees if LUBA or the court were to find that they were bringing an appeal that was not based in law or had no real basis in fact. I would look forward to us having a discussion about that and then presenting a resolution to send to our state legislators in support of that after we've had a discussion, if that is something the rest of the commission is interested in.
I'll have a discussion.
Okay. Other than that, been a slow couple weeks. I typically talk to Tony at least a couple of times a week, if not more. I think things are going relatively smoothly. Be nice to see Lynn Avenue get done here shortly. So I think we've got a couple more weeks before we get that done, at least according to the bright orange sign going up the hill. Beyond that, is there anything else for good of the order? Then we're adjourned.
Into executives.
Adjourn to executive sessions.
Oh, sorry, we're adjourned to executive session. We do not intend to come back and make a decision, I assume.
We do not.
Okay.